All right, let's dive deep into Bitcoin today. We got some fascinating market trends to unpack, and a surprising move from a well-known gold enthusiast.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be good. When market analysis and someone's actions don't quite line up, especially someone known for their opinions, well, that's when things get really interesting.
Exactly. So first up, the Bitcoin analysis. And guys, it's looking seriously bullish. We're not talking small gains here. Picture Bitcoin breaking through resistance. Like imagine smashing through a wall and aiming for a price target of, wait for it, $180,000.
And it's not just a wild prediction. The technical analysis is backing this up. We're seeing Bitcoin break through these key resistance levels, showing us a surge of buying pressure. Think of it like a rocket breaking free from gravity.
And the thing is, this isn't just a short-term pump, this positive trend. It's showing up across all time frames, short, medium, long-term. Real momentum here.
Yeah, this means it's super important for you guys to understand where to potentially jump in on this. The analysis gives us possible entry points around $76,000 and $80,000. Think of them as springboards for upward movement.
But what about dips? Everyone loves a good discount, right?
For sure. And that's where those support levels come into play, like safety nets. The analysis is showing support around $66,000 in the short term, $70,000 medium term, and $72,000 for the long term. If the price pulls back, that's your chance.
So even if there's a correction, those support levels could be a chance to buy Bitcoin on sale.
Exactly. It's all about understanding these signals to make informed choices.
Well,
The RSI, for instance, is signaling strong positive momentum, confirming the buying pressure we're seeing.
okay, so Bitcoin seems to be doing great. But now for that twist I mentioned. Peter Schiff, the gold bug, huge Bitcoin skeptic, did something that's got everyone talking. He launched his own NFT collection.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting.
Ugh.
Schiff built his entire reputation on criticizing Bitcoin, and now he's using a technology that's deeply connected to it.
Kind of like I don't know, a vegan opening a steakhouse.
Okay, maybe not that extreme, but you get the idea. Schiff's collection is called the Golden Triumph Ordinal Set, and it was minted directly on the Bitcoin blockchain using something called ordinals.
Ordinals, huh? What are those?
Imagine it like this. You're inscribing unique digital signatures onto individual satoshis, the smallest units of Bitcoin. It's a way to create and trade NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain itself.
So instead of using a separate platform like Ethereum, Schiff's using Bitcoin itself. That's pretty big considering his whole stance.
It is. And the market seems to agree. His collection, only 51 unique pieces, saw its floor price jump by 149%, hitting 1245 BTC, about $10,774 a piece. That's quite a return, especially when you think about it coming from someone who's been so vocal against Bitcoin. It seems like maybe even Schiff can't resist, right?
It's almost ironic. And it gets even better. In a tweet about his collection, he actually points out its scarcity compared to Bitcoin. He said, there's 21 million Bitcoin, but only 50 Golden Triumph ordinals. It's clear which one is more valuable. You can't argue with math. It's like he's using Bitcoin's own principles of scarcity and digital ownership to, promote something built using its tech.
It's definitely a head scratcher. Schiff's actions and his words, they don't exactly line up. Makes you wonder about his real intentions. Is he just riding the hype wave while keeping up appearances? Or could this actually mean he's starting to come around to Bitcoin?
Who knows, really? But this whole situation, it shows a larger trend we're seeing. Even the biggest Bitcoin critics are finding ways to get involved with the technology behind it. It just goes to show how much crypto is growing and its potential to change the financial world as we know it.
And this leads us to something else pretty big, something with even bigger implications. The rumors about a potential Trump Bitcoin reserve.
Oh yeah, this is huge. The idea of the U.S. government holding Bitcoin reserves, that's a total game changer. Talk about a stamp of approval for Bitcoin. It could shake up the entire global financial system.
Schiff, as you can probably guess, has been totally against this. He says a Bitcoin reserve would just tank the U.S. dollar and lead to economic chaos.
But isn't there a chance that a Bitcoin reserve could actually make the U.S. stronger in the long run? Imagine the dollar backed by both gold and Bitcoin, the two biggest stores of value, in the real world and the digital one. That's a pretty powerful combo, right?
It could be. A Bitcoin reserve could help protect against inflation, diversify the U.S.'s assets, and even attract more investment and innovation. It would be a bold move towards the future of finance, for sure.
But it's also a risky move, no? I mean, what happens if Bitcoin crashes? Wouldn't that destabilize the dollar and potentially lead to a global financial crisis?
There's definitely a risk. Critics like Schiff say Bitcoin's volatility and lack of intrinsic value make it a bad choice for a reserve asset. They worry the government would basically be propping up Bitcoin's price, creating artificial inflation, and hurting the dollar's buying power.
So it's complicated, with no easy answers. Kind of like, I don't know, a high-stakes poker game. The whole global economy hanging in the balance.
Yeah, exactly. And this debate is probably going to go on for a while. But one thing's for sure. Bitcoin isn't some fringe asset anymore. It's making governments, institutions, and everyday people rethink what money is, what value means, and what the future of finance looks like.
Wow, so where does all this leave us? Bitcoin showing real potential, even attracting skeptics like Peter Schiff to its world. And then we have this big question looming over everything. Will the U.S. make Bitcoin a reserve asset? With all the good and bad that could come with it. It's a lot to take in.
It really is. But let's try to simplify it. What are the key takeaways here? First, the technical analysis is telling us Bitcoin is on a strong upward trajectory. Remember those entry points and support levels we talked about? Those are important to keep in mind as you navigate the market.
So even if someone's not a pro trader, they can use this info to make smarter decisions.
Absolutely. Second Schiff jumping into the NFT world despite all his Bitcoin skepticism. That shows us just how much influence crypto is gaining. Even people who criticize it publicly are using the technology.
It seems like the potential of blockchain tech, it's getting harder and harder to ignore, even for the most hardcore skeptics.
You got it. And lastly, the whole debate about a possible U.S. Bitcoin reserve. It just goes to show how much power cryptocurrencies have, whether you're for them or against them. This is a conversation worth paying attention to.
It's a conversation that's shaping the future of finance, and it's happening right now.
As you keep exploring this space, remember to be critical of the information you come across. Do your own research, weigh the risks and the rewards, make decisions that work for your financial goals.
And most importantly, stay curious. The world of cryptocurrencies, it's always changing. There are always new developments popping up. Who knows what's next?
That's what makes it so exciting. It's a dynamic space full of potential.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope you've learned something new today and gained a better understanding of what's going on in the world of Bitcoin.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Happy diving.